Hello everyone and welcome to Zelda Speedruns! So today we have the A Link to the Past No Major Glitches League Season 6 Round 2 match between NiobiumNarwhal and akuheish for Hyrule Castle, and we also have retrommel and robjbeasley for Desert Palace. And on commentary we will have Concision and Close to Spectacular. So thanks everyone and have a great race.
All right, welcome everybody.
Hello, friend.
So yes, we have two very good races today.
Good luck to everybody. Ooh, very exciting.
We are just waiting for all the runners to ready up. And then we should be ready to start pretty soon. It is a little bit trickier, I guess, to get 4 runners all ready to go at once. So here we are.
See
A 4-way tie would be epic, Spaces.
Their pre-game stretches. Oh, we can all learn 4 times faster this way.
Or I guess twice as fast at least, right? 4 racers instead of 2.
Good point.
So retrommel and robjbeasley, their PB times for retrommel 1:26:11, I believe, and robjbeasley 1:25:41. So within about 30 seconds. And I'm not sure.
I think Aku says 1:39.
I think that's right, and I believe Narwhal's is right around there as well, maybe 1:38. So should hopefully be two very good races today. And it looks like we're off. So we start the run today, waking up Link in his house with his uncle, and we are mashing furiously to get through this opening text.
Yeah, last one at Uncle's house is a rotten egg.
That is what it says, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, if you couldn't translate that. Rob's out first, even though it's not a 4-way. It kind of feels like one when you're watching it like this.
So true. So this first segment is called the escape segment. We're trying to rescue Zelda from the castle's prison cell, and then we escape through the back of the castle, through the sewers, and make our way to the sanctuary. And there's really this segment is all about movement, just like, clean movement, avoiding unnecessary movement.
And mashing dialogue boxes.
And mashing dialogue boxes. I would say that there's probably like 2 or 3 what I would call like set pieces in this split. Like some of the guards you have to kill, or you can kill rather, in like quicker ways. But otherwise, it's a fairly straightforward split. What do you say, Close?
Yeah, I'd say so. Everybody get past the guards without getting touched. That's a good start. Hallway RNG getting a little rude for some of them.
As it does sometimes, for sure. But here's that first sort of set piece that I was talking about. There's a pretty particular pattern that you can use, which it looks like most of our runners managed to get to work. But you can basically spin and have the spin hit the guard twice to get out of the room quicker.
So it looks like Aku and Narwhal are pretty much exactly in sync. And yes, the same with Rob and Retro, yeah.
As I said, it looks like it's going to be a very, very close race today. So on the right-hand side, we're coming up to the guard that has a small key and is guarding this boomerang chest. Same sort of double spin happening here, or a spin and a poke. Wow, on the left side, the sync is really crazy.
Yeah, Narwhal went to grab that heart with the boomerang and just missed it, just by a little bit.
Okay, so here we're getting to the first boss of the game on the right-hand side. This is the ball and chains guard. Both of our runners are using what is called the 8/ method for taking care of them. Narwhal grabbing the first pot, and then looks like moving to a 4/ strategy.
Those pots are strong.
Those pots are very strong. All right, all of our runners managed to get through the ball and chains guard. Some a little worse for the wear, but it will be all right. I'm sure there are some pots with some safety hearts we can pick up if we so desire. Seeing as how this is a race setting, I imagine Narwhal will pick up a heart or two at some point. I don't know about Retro.
Yeah, good job for Rob keeping full health coming out of there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it shows a little bit that he's just a little bit ahead now, which taking damage is oftentimes just like unnecessary waste of time, really.
Confirm. It's not being very pleasant again for Rob here. Makes it pass though. Nothing a blue boomerang won't fix.
That's right. That boomerang is very nice. It's not technically required to finish the game, but it's very nice, and it really makes a lot of rooms a lot safer and more consistent.
All right, here's Zelda doing her part.
That's right. You can only open this little door, I guess you can call it, if you have Zelda in tow. So Retro not picking up what I would say is probably the freest heart you can pick up. So just gonna brave it out on one. Narwhal over there on the left does pick up that heart. So comfy 2 hearts now going into the sewers.
Makes it pretty nice to both these guys on the left.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the rats are going to play nice.
Yeah, both of our runners on the right find their key rat successfully, dispatch them. Let's see about the runners on the left.
Ooh,
a little bit more of a journey, but we found it. And it looks like both of our runners on the right-hand side are going to finish the escape sequence within about a second of each other.
Yeah, very close there.
And I would not be surprised if the runners on the left are pretty close as well. Looks like about 2 seconds, maybe.
They would have been, I would say, exactly tied, but Aku got that second dialogue box, or the first one, I guess.
Yes. That's a dialogue box you can avoid if you sort of stay out of the trigger area for that box. Just hold right out of that door.
I'm taking notes as well.
Yep, that's on the right. We're leaving the sanctuary and heading to our first dungeon. Is the Eastern Palace, where we have to retrieve a pendant, which we exchange for some boots. I think that's the whole story, right?
I think that's how it goes, yeah. He has the boots the whole time, but he wants to trade you for it. You see right there, Rob took a few hits coming down, which did take a little bit of time away from him.
Yeah, those Octorocks are sometimes problematic. I think it's a really fun screen. It's sort of a hold down screen, but also you get to like feel smart, make some reads, throw a boomerang or two if you feel like, you know, extra spicy.
Boomerang everything.
Looks like our runners on the left, Aku and Narwhal, also getting through the Octorocks pretty smoothly. And on the right, we have entered Eastern Palace.
All left side cannonballs for Rob.
All right, so here on the right is really our first real speedrun trick that we can do. So there's 4 Stalfos skeletons that spawn in this room that's now coming up for the runners on the left, and they'll spawn in like a plus sign around you based on where Link enters their like spawn area. And so we sort of take this movement that puts the spawn area, one of them in the door at the top, one of them in the pot below you, and then we use 2 pots to dispatch the remaining 2. Saves a lot of time over the intended way of actually spawning 4 and killing 4. Really, it's sort of, at least for me, I guess, it was the first trick that I learned, and I was like, wow, this is a speedrun thing.
It does feel good when you only have to kill 2 of them.
Absolutely. And then here on the right, we're coming up to, like you learn that fun trick, and then you learn this very unfun trick, in my opinion, because it's so scary. But you take a D-boost here, you pop on this switch, and that spawns this chest.
Pretty identical from the 2 of them there.
Yes, very, very well executed. Let's see if we can get it to work as well from our runners on the left. But the intended way is to kill every enemy in that room, which causes these anti-fairies to disperse. We got a very clean deboost from Narwhal. Aku is going to pick up some safety hearts, give it another try, and managed to get it. So
hey, brute force.
Hey, so, you know, sometimes that's what it takes. You just keep on trekking.
That's why we grabbed the tank heart.
That's right. Shout out to Sankheart, indeed. The best safety in the game. Okay. So Aku is gonna stop by this fairy room and grab a full heal.
The smart move. I often forget about that.
I do too. Aku plays a lot of Link to the Past randomizer. So does Narwhal. So they bring a little bit of a randomizer, like, you know, flavor to the speedrun, I would say.
All right, boss of Eastern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. So on the right, our most knights. We have a quick kill from both runners.
Wow.
Shooting pretty much perfectly in sync again.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the way this works is you want to put 2 arrows into one of the Armos, because otherwise, once you get them down to within 1 arrow, or the last Armos down to within 1 arrow of being dead, then it'll turn red and get all angry.
Narwhal killed one of them there by mistake, but just cleans it up with a few extra arrows at the end.
Yep, and it's just a small cost of a few arrows that you won't have for Lambo now, but really no harm, no foul other than that.
Ooh, Aku missing the first arrow there.
Aku taking a bit of a bump. I bet we'll be able to recover. Slightly slower strat, but very safe, it looks like. Yep.
Really good cleanup on that.
Yeah. One of the things about this speedrun, probably any speedrun, but so this is a long one. You're going to make mistakes, and like a lot of the run, and especially in a race scenario, is how do you deal with those mistakes when you make them? Like if you let them cascade into more mistakes, that's bad.
That is true. Aku with the extra arrows here is going to make it a little easier of a Lammo fight, or at least faster.
Yeah,
get there without picking up extra.
So yeah, with 11, they should have quite a few for the Lammo fight.
Missed spin speed from both of them on the right, but Rob goes back in to get it, and gets in the library, I think, just a second before Retro.
Interesting.
Aku looking for spin speed here. It's no problem.
Yeah, Retro missing the Edging library spin speed once, so maybe, spin speed is one of those things that's a frame perfect transition from a sword spin to a dash. And it's one of those things that some days you have it, some days you just don't, at least for me.
I'd say in most cases, if you miss it the first time, you should probably just dash off the screen and leave it alone, eh?
Most screens, that's true. There's some screens where you can make sort of like forward progress while you're charging the second attempt, in which case it can be more worth it. And then I'll be honest, sometimes I just go for it because I'm stubborn.
Makes sense. Just checking at the dash line from the runners on the right there. Stay really close to the cactuses, you get right by.
Oh yeah, you can lots of the hitboxes in this game are a little unintuitive because of sort of the faux isometric 3D perspective that we have. So some of the y-axis hitboxes are not exactly what you would expect. So yeah, you can get very close to that cactus. So we're grabbing a torch key to head to the right-hand side of the desert to grab a big key. On the left, finishing up our overworld to get to Desert Palace.
Kills. See how the cannonballs feel today. Pretty nice, and not as nice, but it sure
really
gets through.
Overworld for a Narwhal there. Good entry time.
13 arrows each on the right. Well, I guess soon to be 18 each.
One more thing to point out, I guess, should point this out a little bit earlier, is that Narwhal grabbed the rupees from Sahasrara, or Saha. So those rupees will be used to pay off Kiki, the monkey, to get into Palace of Darkness later.
I assume that means
as well as
Aku
the rest
will
of the
be...
runners, exactly, will need to find those rupees, and yes, I would assume they're going to be tree pools as well. Good cannonball read from Narwhal.
Ooh, spin speed off of there. It's dangerous, but he got it. Rando brain is a thing.
Can confirm. So Narwhal showing us the 10 arrows in the Circle of Pots room in Desert, getting up to a very healthy 24 arrows.
Very healthy.
We will see if Aku grabs the arrows as well. I think Aku missed the arrows on the way back.
Yeah, he was at 11 leaving Eastern, so...
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see if Aku manages to get the arrows that they really should have for Lammo fight. Speaking of,
arguably,
side,
yeah. I would say one of the more exciting parts of watching an NMG race, in my opinion, is the Lammo fight.
Absolutely, it's it's really a hard fight. It's really slow if you do anything except for use the bow. You have to really use the bow. And it's just a real skill test for basically how well you know the bow.
See Rob throwing up his hands there, missing the last Lammo.
Yeah, he's not too thrilled about that, but did not lose that much time. We have torches over here on Narwhal side, getting ready for the Lambo fight.
I think a 3 cycle from Retro and a 4 from Rob, I think.
I think so as well.
Alright, Narwhal moving into Lambo. Lines up with the bonk off the wall.
Yep, very standard opening. Good to see. Meanwhile, Aku lighting the torches to get in. On the right, real fast, we're setting up for probably the first or the second, I guess, minor glitch that we use in this game, which is Fate Flippers. So if we can hop into the water and screen transition on the very next frame, we get to keep swimming, even though we do not have the flippers yet.
Narwhal having a little trouble there with the last Lambo. He's doing those short hops that no one likes.
Yep, and now out of arrows, but finish it off just in time. Yep. Looks like both. Oh, yep. Looks like both now out of arrows. So at least they're on even footing there.
Aku just pulling the bowstring just to make sure. And gets them.
Yep. On the right-hand side, saving the old man to get ourselves a magic mirror. And we're now entering everyone's favorite screen, Death Mountain, with these raining boulders, I guess. And these dead rocks, which can cost you a lot of time.
Guy cabbages.
Yeah, exactly, cabbages.
At least that's what the sign says. If anybody ever stopped to read that one.
Yeah.
Narwhal with that easy fake flipper setup with the bush.
Yep. Shout out to Bitey for the bush pickup strat.
Gotta admit it, it's pretty easy. It's nice.
It's pretty good. So we're going to see Aku's screen transition first. So they're just going to try to sword buffer into the Fate Flippers. Probably lots of practice doing what I would call unassisted Fate Flippers from Randomizer. So gets it relatively quickly. Much quicker than I could do it.
It's always a bit conflicting when you're like, I got it, and then you don't have it, or, you know.
Yes. On the right-hand side, we are in the Hera basement tower room.
No crazy strats from either of them on the right, just doing
the
safe
taking
way.
very, very safe, either dash poke or just sword hold out, knockdown strats. So we have to do... Is this the only entire room that we have to do in the run? I guess so.
I was going to ask you that.
I know, right? And there is really nothing we can do to save time here. We just have to wait for all the tiles to fly at us.
Aku escorting the old man to safety. He was lost, but now he was found.
Nice slash there to put the dead rock off to the side. It always, at least for me, feels a little risky slashing at the dead rocks, but you feel so smart when you put them away.
Yeah, get over there.
Yeah.
Good beetles.
Yes, on the right, both runners are dealing with beetles very well. That's probably widely considered one of, if not the hardest rooms in the light world.
I agree.
A room that definitely deserves a lot of practice. And then setting up for our first bomb jump of the run. Retro getting there slightly first. Gets it no problem. Both runners going for a standard spin setup. The spin gives Link a little bit of stickiness on that edge.
Oh, Narwhal went for the coffee break technique.
Yes, taking advantage of some of the bombs that we get from the back of Saha's hut. the runners on the right did not get those bombs, and so this is a nice little perk that Narwhal can use. Gets to hydrate or like pet the dog or cat or whatever. Good torches.
Aku fighting these tiles.
On the right, it looks like Retro's dispatched Moldorm before I could even see it, and Rob follows pretty quickly behind.
Sometimes it's funner to dodge the tiles than just sit there and take a coffee break.
I agree with that. Like, you're not in any real danger, but it's fun to just do stuff sometimes.
Pop.
Yeah, so Rob, maybe 7 or 8 seconds now behind Retro. Retro on a very good pace. I think this is a very good pace for his Light Worlds. Looks like he's 10 seconds ahead of PB. And then there we see some of those first tree pulls. We take 2 tree pulls here. We have to set them up by killing various numbers of enemies and not taking damage. But the first tree pull will drop 4 5 rupee pieces, and the second will drop 4 20 rupee pieces.
A good thing about falling in the Beatles room is you don't have to deal with the Beatles again.
That is correct, unless you mirror. So, be careful about with that.
Retro pulling the Master Sword out from the side of the pedestal. I didn't actually know you could do that. I always walk up the stairs and kind of,
Oh, you need to pull it from as far back as possible. Get those long arms at work.
Moldorm getting a little sassy for Narwhal.
Yeah, Narwhal getting poked around a bit. Taking it nice and slow.
Ooh.
Oh. And did they hit the switch? They did not, so they have 1 heart to use here. Meanwhile, Aku waiting for this fireball to extinguish.
On half of a heart.
On half of a heart. See if they hit the switch. Yes, Aku hit the switch, so was going to get a generous 4.5 hearts to work with.
Safety first. Oof.
Okay, and so I hate to see that. We have a death from Moldorm on Narwhal's side, but can probably catch up relatively quickly, especially now that we see Aku getting knocked off by Moldorm. Moldorm is just not fun sometimes. It has that like
angrier in the
it has that like perfectly like somewhat random, somewhat predictable pattern to it where sometimes it can trick you into thinking that you know what it's going to do.
100 rupees from Retro and that tree pull.
Yeah, and so both runners entering Castle Tower with over 104 rupees, which is really or I guess 104 or more, which is really our target. They're going to find 6 rupees under pots in Castle Tower, so they will have their 110.
Aku put some Moldorm down. Said, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to stand at the edge and keep my sword out, and if you want to come at me, you're going to get it.
So, Retro, slightly unconventional technique there for the entrance guards. I think that maybe missed the slash or something. Yeah. But both runners on the right preserve the prize pack guards. Those guards are part of a prize pack of enemies that drop a fairy, and we want to manipulate that fairy to appear much later in the game where we might actually need it. So if you kill an enemy with a dash, they will never drop anything.
And just a little recap on that. Where do we want that fairy to come out at during the run?
Ideally, I think you would generally want that to be the pokey right before the Chomp's room in Turtle Rock. But sometimes it's going to be in the Pokey 1 room after Chomp's, or even Pokeys 2.
Narwhal finishing off Moldorm here. That he's tired of this, and puts him down.
Yep, Aku approaching the Master Sword at this point. Looks like taking extra special care to get these kills to pick up the tree poles that he'll need. And on the right-hand side, Retro and Rob are really cleaning up Castle Tower at this point. Rob's still with beams, making really good time. Really has closed much of the gap, I would say, between the two runners. Towards the start of the split, it was closer to about 7 seconds. Now it's maybe 2, 3
and a half.
And so on
Narwhal picking up the secret arrow stash underneath the pot, leaving the mountain.
Yes, the Death Mountain Descent arrows at 5 arrows. I would definitely pick those up. It will give you a little bit more comfort in Castle Tower. There's some rooms that get much quicker with arrows.
All right, time to count blue balls.
Yep, so this fight with the Wizard Aghanim, we need to deflect or reflect these energy balls back, but only these like yellow balls that stay in one piece count towards damage. And if they break apart, like we just saw on both screens, then they do not count. So we refer to them as blue balls, and they are generally just pure time loss.
And they're sitting at 2 apiece.
There's nothing that we know of that can be used to manipulate this RNG. It's just sort of part of the run.
3 blue balls for Rob.
Okay. 2 still for Retro, right?
Confirm.
Looks like Retro ends it with 2, and I think this means Rob will end with... Oh, no. I miscounted. Ah, right. Okay, so this means Rob ends with 3.
And I guess the idea when you're deflecting the shots back into Aghanim here is to hit him as close back to the top center as possible.
Yes, at least towards the end. The center is always safe. I guess just like the pure middle is probably ideal. You don't know where he's going to go next. He could go right back to where he came from. But he's going to warp somewhere, and you would like to make it easy on him. Let him warp quickly.
You see that fairy you were talking about earlier on Aku's screen with the two guards there.
Yes, Aku used a spin to dispatch the guards, and did see the fairy appear. Then this is another thing that I wouldn't be surprised if this is some of Aku's randomizer background coming, because in randomizer the prize packs are randomized, and so you don't really, and so is the dungeon order for that matter, and so you don't really think about things like that.
Rob gets his spin speed off the pyramid. Very good.
So yeah, so this screen, the pod overworld screen, a lot of interesting dash lines through this little maze. A screen that really takes a good bit of practice, I think, to learn all the optimal movements for him.
Who would have thought you'd have to pay a monkey to get into a dungeon?
Well, luckily all of our runners thought ahead, and they have the money for it.
Yeah, thank goodness.
It is a strange turn of events for sure. So, this is on the right. We have the Palace of Darkness, or Pod. It's the first Dark World dungeon. This is really where the game, I'd say, starts ramping up difficulty. Wouldn't you say, Close?
I would say so for sure.
The first few rooms, it's really just we're working towards grabbing the big key. So we have to grab a few small keys to get to the big key.
Grab a key, mirror out. Grab a key.
Exactly.
Mirror out.
I think it's sort of neat how every dungeon has like its own flavor. Some dungeons you mirror 4 times, some you don't mirror at all.
Some you mirror by accident.
Sometimes.
All right, Aku on his Agathite.
So on the right-hand side, we're going to see Retro coming up on the hammer jump, which is one of the more difficult bomb jumps in this route. This jump saves quite a bit of time, and he gets it with, wow, only 2 mini buffers. Really good,
Beautiful.
good hammer jump. But it's two essentially pixel perfect. You have to place the bomb on the right pixel on the y-axis, and then line up Link on the right pixel on the y-axis as well.
We have 3 blue balls so far on Aku's side here.
I think that means he'll finish with
Boomeranging
3.
Aga in the face.
Yeah, so he finishes with 3. Do you know how many Narwhal is currently at?
0, I believe. 1.
I should not have asked. My apologies, Narwhal. So on the right, Retro cleaning up mimics, Rob going there now. These are enemies that move sort of keyed based off of Link's movements, which means that the room is completely predictable. As long as you can find a pattern that works for you, you can dispatch these every time. 1 misfire, but no worries, we have 5 arrows.
And Aga decides to give him the 3rd blue ball.
Which means that it'll be even 3-3 on that side. Oh, I lied.
Maybe I miscounted. Good turtle room from Retro. Gets it all done before any of them flip back up.
Narwhal's still going on the blue balls.
It's gotta be at least 4, but
I think it's at least 5.
at least you would know better than I.
I was having a hard time counting while watching the turtle. And then here on the right, we have Helmasaur, which is really the first, I would say, boss that has a really high chance of killing you and ending your run in like a normal speed run sort of session, not a race like this. But very dangerous boss. Deals 2 hearts of damage, which is really one of the big reasons why we want to pick up that Sanctuary Heart.
Equally good turtle room from Rob. And almost the same helmet pattern, at least in the beginning few seconds here.
So we see Rob manages to despawn the fireballs there by breaking the shell while the fireballs are dispatched.
I love that.
Me too. I'm sure it was not an intentional, game mechanic, but it's a very, very enjoyable one. It feels like it's a form of skill expression to be able to time up the hammer hits to hit them just right.
All right, and both runners on the right getting their first crystal in the Dark World.
And so we see Retro leaving Palace of Darkness, Rob soon to follow. Another... this is an overworld screen that can cause a lot of troubles. There's several enemies that can jump out at you and deal you damage whether you like it or not. Well, really just one that's a real danger. This bird right here should be avoidable.
Should be.
Should be, yes. Nobody ever gets hit by that bird, obviously. We see Rob getting a quick hammer dash through the pegs. Retro's picking up his shovel. He's going to mirror back to the light world and dig up the flute, which we will use for the rest of the game to travel around the world quite quickly.
Aku
On
set
the
up a good
left.
hammer jump, but I think he was just a little bit too far right to get shot across the gap, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, gotcha. I was just gonna ask.
There it is. Going for spin speed here, Retro. And he gets past.
Yep, that is a very important spin speed. With that spin speed, you can really get past that guard fairly reliably, and without it, that guard is obnoxious.
Pretty synced up again here on the left. Oh, never mind, I forgot.
No, yeah, because Narwhal is going for hammer jump now.
That's right.
It's
Well, they
it's one of those
high-fived at
things.
least.
You have multiple paths in this dungeon. You know, mirror 5 times sort of thing. But let's see. Looks like they found. Oh, thought they'd found the pixel.
Activating the flute is a nice little time to take a,
Yeah, you get a
picture.
short breather. Yeah.
Get your arms break. Good hammer jump from Narwhal.
Yep. Retro back in the Dark World. Rob skirting by the 3 Musketeers. And then Retro is in Thieves Town, the second crystal dungeon that we get in the Dark World. It is not a... I don't know. What do you think about Thieves Town, Close?
I think it's good as long as the rando brain doesn't kick in.
Shouldn't be a problem for the runners on the right, I wouldn't think, but you're right. There's 4 chests, a whopping 4 chests in this lobby here, and we only need one of them. We know which one it is. There's a few rooms that can really trip people up in Thieves Town. The Hellway, which is coming up pretty soon on Retro's side, being one of them. Aku fighting Helmasaur, using a sword out strategy, and then I believe is going to line up for spins. And 4 spins dispatches Helmasaur. Good safe strategy by Aku to get out of there.
I agree. I like that strategy.
So Rob gets a perfect God Pixel dash through the Hellway. You love to see it.
That feels good. Love to see
Yes.
Good cleanup on the
turtle
turtles.
cleanup, yeah, from Narwhal.
Hopefully Rob has no issues with these little grasshoppers.
Those grasshoppers, they are not fun.
Do they use that menu coming into that room to kind of like predict the RNG or what?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the menu could be used elsewhere, like during a dash to remove, human error frames, but we use it there to get a quick read on those grasshoppers, see where they're going. You see that also Rob dashed out of the room just a frame or 2 early and had to go back in. Luckily, he realized it and went back in to rebomb the floor.
Yeah, it's almost like he knew right away.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely did. And Narwhal gets through Helmasaur with 1 heart. Once again, shout out to Saint Heart.
Yeah, for sure.
All my friends love Saint Heart. But gets the first crystal and onto the flutes. Meanwhile, Aku gets hit by that bird that I was talking about.
Those birds
We
are
do
tough.
not like that bird.
3 hearts of damage.
It is a beating. So, Retro approaching the blind fight. This is a fight that if you can manage to damage blind on the first frame, that it becomes vulnerable again. and sort of keep your movements in the same general way, then the fight. Oh boy, the fight should be scripted. Should be the same every time. Retro was on script until the very end, and then had just a little bit of blind adventure, but cleaned up nicely.
Of course.
And we'll see a very similar pattern from Rob. The first 6 hits or so are pretty much the same pattern from all runners. And Rob gets a very quick blind kill, not even touching the sort of light in the middle of the room.
Now, where he was holding the wall at the end of that, does that save any frames, or just he happened to be holding the wall for swag points?
That's a good question. I'm actually not sure.
I liked it either way. See Aku going in here to grab a bottle.
Yeah, so this is a, I would say, a slightly unconventional shopping pattern, but it's a very good one, because we're moving back some of this time loss into a place where we're already running through Kakariko. And I guess the idea is that most of the danger is sort of backloaded towards the end of the run. So grabbing the bottle in the net now when it's on our way, better than doing it early.
Definitely a smart play.
Makes a lot of sense in a race setting for sure. It does give yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say it gives Narwhal a little bit of a chance to catch up, but of course that time would all be made up in the case of actually using that bottle later, right?
Assuming Narwhal doesn't go in for bottles himself.
True. On the right, after Thieves' Town, we are rescuing the smith from the Dark World and having our sword tempered. It will give us the tempered sword, which is the final sword that we get for the game. It does quite a good bit of damage. I think twice as much as the Master Sword, and is more than enough, or well, I guess just enough to get us over the line as quickly as possible. So I saw that Aku grabbed powder as well. It is a very common safety. And it looks like Narwhal also grabbing powder. This powder lets you convert anti-fairies into fairies, which is a great use, or source of healing, rather.
Thankfully, it doesn't work in the reverse as well.
I don't think it does, no.
No.
That would be interesting, though.
Well, I know it can get a little spicy sometimes. If you're trying to get them on an angle and you miss, you might do it twice, and then that would just be bad news.
True. So, Retro entering Skull Woods. This is the mummy's room.
Wow.
Many players love this room, and by many players, I mean very few.
That was nice how he just kind of slashed the mummy, and then the mummies just like spun off each other for a minute, got very confused, and let him by.
Some minor disasters. Losing 3 hearts is more than you want to lose in that room, but well within the realm of this is okay.
Good mummy from Rob.
Yep, good one from Rob. Meanwhile, Aku knows exactly where that big key is.
And Retro has the fire rod.
Yep, our 3rd bomb jump of the game.
I think we were going over this the other day, that falling in the pit to get respawned back at the entrance there would be the fastest way out.
That's right. Yep. Did he bonk? Did you notice?
No, he didn't bonk. He took the pit.
Very nice.
So in case anyone's wondering, it wasn't on accident.
Yeah, so it's both faster, but also gives you some iframes even after you leave the building, which lets you walk right through a ropa that's there and just take the absolute fastest path.
Aku gets the God Pixel and then gets shut down by the little jelly boys.
Yep, exactly. And it's just, like, that's the thing about the room. And then skillfully catches a fairy on the conveyor, which is really, really hard to do.
The ghost fairy.
So we have Retro grabbing the mummy key here.
Oh, wow.
Missed the dash, but grabs the key and onto the moth fight.
Was that a missed dash, or was it strategic to bonk back over the mini helmet and grab the key?
I don't think that was the goal. Generally, what you're doing there is buffering the dash. You can't make forward progress, so you start your dash with the hope that you grab the key right before it starts. Looks like he took a death to Moth, and so we're back at it. The tables have turned a bit, and he's probably behind Rob by about as much as Rob was behind him a few minutes ago.
Yeah, they just kind of switched out.
I know that Retro knows this Mummy's Hellway backup strategy really well. I've seen him practicing it a lot, and that is well executed. You need to light all those torches to get through. He's already done it once, so he was low on magic, but he managed to light 3 of them with the lamp to save a lot of magic. And that is an impressive piece of race tech to pull out, really.
Yeah, it kind of feels bad if you run out of magic there. You have to go all the way back into the mummy, go back in, bomb the wall, get the full magic.
Yep, exactly. So this avoids all that by using the lamp and hoping for and the magic that's already under the pot. The race on the left still very close.
Yeah, both runners escorting the maiden.
That's right.
Back to the sunlit
Narwhal
room.
Picking up the mitts at this point, and Aku getting ready to start the blind fight.
Might as well grab that extra heart. Why not?
Yep. Some parts of this fight deal 2 damage, but some just deal 1. So every heart really matters here. It's just a little piece of, peace of mind, really. And a
really nice,
clean blind script.
Yeah, really nice fight.
Final blind fight of the day, hopefully, from Narwhal. So knocked off script a little bit. We'll see how they react for phase 3.
Here's where the gamer skills come in.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
No laser and we're good.
Straight gaming.
I know there's a little moment there, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Keeps it exciting.
That it does. On the right-hand side, we are headed over Catfish to pick up the Quake medallion, which will give us access to Turtle Rock later, and we are going to grab the flippers, the real flippers this time, from Zora's Domain before heading over to Ice Palace.
Just barely, he's on either a full heart or a half a heart there at the end of blind, but managed to dodge the fireballs and get through and get it done. Both runners on the right setting up the quick warp after Catfish.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when they're frozen there in midair. That's what they're doing.
That's right. So doing our post-thieves shopping and tempering on the left. So we'll get to really, I guess, see Retro run through this Zora's Domain screen. It's a very difficult screen to do quickly. Really, the big reason is because we do a lot of dashing in this game, and most of the time you're trying to avoid bonking or nudging. Bonking costs you a lot of time, nudging costs you a little time. The hard part of this screen is you can't do either of those. If you, you're going for a swim if you miss your dashes here. And it is difficult.
Clean path into the whirlpool for Rob. Moving into Ice Palace. And both runners on the left just in and out of the Smith's house there. And Aku takes spin speed right to his mirror portal.
Ooh, Retro with a very close bump by that Zora there. That hitbox extends a bit further than it looks like, I think. I didn't think he was that close. Losing beams here is a little rough. You'll see in this next room, he has to actually go up and risk. Oh, okay.
You know what? Take out all of them. Just get your anger out. Whatever.
So being down 3 fire rod shots of worth of magic is not ideal here. He's going to want to find some magic from a drop at some point. If I had to guess, it'll be from the Penguin lineup room.
Aku moving into mummy puzzle here.
Ooh. Some skillful movement to bait the mummies away. Looks
And
like
dodging
he's
the
good
wall
to go.
master also.
Yep.
Good bomb jump. Stay still for the fire bar there, because I'm not quite sure what happens if you're moving when that hits you, but I know it's not good.
All right, Rom cleaning up Penguin lineup. And then we have Narwhal working through the puzzle now. Looks like they needed just a little bit more room to squeak by there. Down to 2 hearts here, so I would not be surprised to see Narwhal powder. Yep, there we go. So there is a bunny beam under that skull. You can powder it for a fairy. So
Super good knowledge. I remember feeling really smart when I found out that you could powder the jugs that they were in without letting them free first. Yeah,
that's really cool. I know for sure, because it's also, let's be honest, it's also a lot easier, right, than powdering.
A lot easier.
Yeah, like a moving like anti-fairy. But really, that just shows the value in some of these safeties to pick up for a lot of runners, and I still pick up powder, and it's definitely saved me sometimes. Rob with a very smooth cold stare fight on the right.
Yeah, he was practicing cold stare before this tournament, and I guess the practice shows.
Absolutely. Retro picked up the magic he needed. I didn't catch it exactly where, but just needed to grab 2 smalls in the final room before cold stare, and we will see his cold stare fight.
Dash poke, get the spin, switch to mirror.
Looks like he'll be a little bit of cleanup, but very, very under control.
Still tight race on the right side.
Very tight. On the left, we have Aku falling into the moth fight. Couldn't quite tell if he got the double poke there.
It looked like it, but one more hit should do it.
Let's see. I can't tell if... Okay,
Ooh.
So I think he did not.
Ooh, that was very close to the spike, but luckily he killed Moth before the spike hit him, so it despawned those spikes and he stayed safe.
Shout out to St. Cart once again.
Now the spikes, how much damage do the spikes do?
The spikes do 1 damage all the time. It doesn't matter what armor you have. If you have green mail, or sorry, green armor, the blue mail, or anything. The spikes are just set at 1 heart.
Or as they call it in the old lore books, the green jerkin.
Is that what they call it?
That's what it says in the books.
Oh my goodness. Very
Really clean
clean
fight.
moth fight from Narwhal. I do not think that they took any damage. And close on, have you noticed what shopping routes the runners on the right have taken? It looks like Retro's going to grab Ether.
Yeah, he's heading up the mountain.
I
don't think I've seen Rob go up the mountain yet, but
he may not have done any shopping. May have gone straight to. Yeah, I believe Rob is doing shopping later.
yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, so Malmo was pointing out that Narwhal's fight would have been even quicker without beams. The beams do not really help in that fight. You really want to get the actual slashes in. Sometimes it can be inconvenient even having beams in that fight.
I feel that.
I'm usually very surprised if I have beams for that fight, so.
I might have beams at the start, but definitely not the end.
So true.
Alright, Aku moving up to Catfish. And Narwhal gonna follow suit here.
Mm-hmm. And then Retro getting ready to head to Swamp Palace. Join Rob there.
So when will Rob do his shopping, do you think?
So I believe Rob will pick up Ether leaving Swamp, and then either pick up Ice Rod in the same split, which is probably most likely, or potentially could grab Ice Rod right before Turtle Rock. But I'm guessing this is going to be a long mire for Rob.
Longmire.
That's right.
Nice dash line from Aku here. Right on the edge of the deep water.
Yep, this is a screen where you really want to maximize your dashes the best you can.
Narwhal frozen in midair.
Oh, gets moved off a little bit of the Quick Warp Pixel to grab the medallion. That's
Little
all right.
medallion bounce.
Oh, I think naturally caught a different Quick Warp Pixel. So
Ill.
sometimes just skillful execution, I'm sure.
Alright, as Narwhal comes into Zora's domain, Aku's leaving it. I'm gonna check for those Zoras coming up. Or
Oh, it looks like Aku is going to. Okay, taking a quick flute instead of worrying about the Zoras at all.
I mean, makes sense. Very good tiny key hallway from Retro. A+.
A+ for sure.
A+. Such a small, tiny room that brings a lot of excitement.
That's right.
I see Aku using beams in the start of Ice Palace here. Makes it a lot more convenient.
Yes, a lot safer, usually quicker. And we see Narwhal getting bullied a little bit by that same Zora that gave Retro a little tap. So it looks like they will not have beams for the first part of Swamp. I mean, sorry, Ice Palace. Yeah, Mamo, I was wondering the same thing. Grab Ice Rod. Not sure. Haven't really thought about that. But that would definitely be an interesting shopping route.
I mean, you avoid some danger that way for sure.
Mm-hmm. Also, it would give you the chance to potentially farm a heart from the crabs in case you lost any going to Catfish, for example.
Classic clean skeletons room from Aku with the bombs there.
No beams, but Aku is cleaning. Getting hit by some spikes, but probably still in fairly good shape. There is a anti-fairy room towards the end of Ice Palace. We see Rob taking care of Argus.
And just quickly removing those puffs.
Yep, looking to go for a clean one cycle here. Doesn't quite get the phase 2 quick kill. Gets it on the second chance though. So it's a little bit at this point. It's going to be hard to tell who's ahead between Retro and Rob because their shopping routes have diverged. We won't have a really good read on that until probably the entrance to Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock, right? The Aku dropping into go to fight Cold Stare now.
Yep, plenty of magic. Retro grabbing some supplies from the swamp restock room. And here is our Cold Stare fight.
Landing on Death Mountain in the TR split. Maybe see a little Death Mountain high five then.
Looking at a solid 6/ kill from Aku here.
Well done.
Never had any trouble with that.
See, Narwhal there does that thing where he lands through the hole face down so he can smash that pot with the hammer right away. I like that.
Exactly, yep. Save is just a little bit of time, a little bit of movement.
A little, oh, Argus is done. Now, does Retro have his mirror out on purpose here?
So yes, switching to the mirror, I mean, it doesn't matter exactly when you do it, I guess, but the mirror will be the first item that you use after leaving, because he's going to flute somewhere. Can only do that for the light world. We're seeing a little bit of danger from the Cold Stare fight on Narwhal's side, but looks like it got cleaned up.
And it's shopping time for Rob.
Yeah, we do see Rob picking up Ether. Now we'll see if he grabs Ice Rod here as well. He does.
Nobody missing the duck yet, which is really nice. I don't want to jinx anything, but I mean, I know it happened to you just yesterday there.
It did.
In case anybody was wondering, I found out the name of the duck.
Oh, do share.
His name is Flute Boy's Bird.
Flute Boy's Bird. I was hoping you were going to say it was like Gustav or something.
Yeah, Gustav.
But I guess I will accept Flute Boy's Bird.
It kind of has a nice ring to it. All right, so there's a big high five right there.
So yeah, we are high-fiving, but that does not mean we are tied. Rob has the Ice Rod, and unless I miss something big, Retro does not. So I don't remember the exact number of seconds that the Ice Rod detour usually takes, but that would be by how far ahead Rob is right now. But
good point.
We can enjoy the synchronization.
Here's a hard room.
Yep. So Mire 2, definitely one of those rooms. It takes a lot of practice to get down quickly. It's just another one of those rooms where you need to kill every enemy in there. We see on the left that both of our runners are doing ether pickup during the swamp split. Would not be surprised to see Ice Rod cave immediate. Oh wait, looks like Aku already has Ice Rod.
I'm not sure when I missed that.
Did he grab the Ice Rod? I don't know when I missed it either.
I'm pretty sure he didn't do it fluting away from the Zora there, but he's got it.
Yep, sure enough. So in Misery Mire on the right, this is a dungeon where you really want to lose as few extraneous, unnecessary hearts as possible, because the boss of this dungeon is Vitreous, and it has ended some runs.
It hits hard, I think. What do the eyes do? The goop does 2. The eyes do what?
I believe the goop only does 1 damage. That's why we use the goop to sort of trigger Link's iframes. The eyes do 4.
That's what it is.
So at this point of the game, the game design, well, the game was designed in such a way that you're expected to have picked up the blue mail at this point from Ice Palace. We skipped it to save time, and from now on, if we get hit by some of these bosses or harder enemies, we pay for it. But Aku taking the unconventional hammer dash to grab the key out of the tiny key hallway.
Tiny key hallway.
And the runners on the right picking up the Cane of Samaria, the final dungeon item that we'll need to finish the run. Narwhal with a great dash through the little pond skippers, whatever they're called. Somebody will
Yeah,
know.
Aku did the exact same thing, and I think you told me that like depends on your swim on the way in there, correct?
Well, it's just that, like with a lot of things with Monster RNG, they start in the same spot and they move around sort of randomly. So the more time that you give them to move, the harder it gets to sort of line them all up.
And spooky setup from both runners on the right.
Looks like they both got Spooky 1 without a problem.
Oof.
Retro having some issues with Spooky 2, giving up and going for the backup bomb.
Makes sense. Maybe it's a little too high, I'm not sure.
I could not tell you.
Aku did those 3 dashes there, coming through swamp in the water. I believe somebody told me that since your walking speed is slower in the water, that short dashes are actually much faster.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the sort of common bits of wisdom for dashing in this game is if you're moving straight distances, if you're moving about 4 tiles, you want to be dashing. When you're in that shallow water, it's probably, I don't know, closer to 3 tiles because your walking speed in the water is just so slow that the difference between walking and dashing makes it doing so even on shorter distances.
And Viddy down for retro.
Yeah. So Doomtap points out that if you can pump in water, that pumping in the water would be even more efficient.
I've heard it's stair pumping, wall pumping, air pumping, but never water pumping.
Oh, you got to start water pumping.
I gotta. Have to put that in the old notepad. Hook shot for Aku here.
The water in the escape sequence and even like falling into the well at the very beginning of the game are both common places to water pump. Yeah.
And speed for Rob, but no
difference
Waffle House.
between movement.
I always enjoy the way Link wiggles through those rocks there with the spin speed.
All right, so now we see Rob being ahead of Retro. Retro's needing to grab the ice rod, and when he lands, he will be where Rob is, where Rob was just a few seconds ago. Those runners entering the Turtle Rock dungeon pretty soon.
Knocks those hammer pegs down real fast.
Yep, using the hook speed to get around quickly.
Man, that's impressive. Tried it the other day. Didn't work out well.
It's not that bad. I'm sure you could do it. So Aku taking care of... Oh, got in the way of Argus's up jump.
Don't stand above Argus. But a clean fight.
Clean fight overall. And we see Retro get by the dead rock there. They are bullying him just a little bit, but it looks like he's going to make it in without a problem. Rob making his way through the roller room.
Takes damage
And
with a dash.
Takes the sort of long walk through before dashing. That's slightly safer, I guess. Probably backup strat for him. He probably his timing is being a little bit off and walked a little bit further before dashing. And so here is probably where we would want that fairy ideally close.
There it is.
He gets it.
You see that he grabbed the fairy, took some damage, and the fairy just kept healing him after that.
Yeah. Yeah, very clean chomps room. And we see Narwhal dispatching Argus now.
Another good fight.
So Aku will head straight to Meyer. Appears to set up Spooky. Nice quick hop off the ledge there. Very clean overworld. That bird can be a real problem.
Yeah.
Rob losing beams to, I think the laser in Poke's one there.
No bunny form though. Managed to get around that. That anti-fairy or whatever you call those guys.
Yeah, I think they're. I'm pretty sure that they're called bunny beams.
Bunny beam, thank you. All right, into Meyer 2.
Yep,
good
still
fire
has
beams.
Shot.
Well done. That shooter in the middle just messing with Rob today.
Rob not happy about this Poke's 2 room.
I blame the shooter. Narwhal setting up Spooky. Dust bunnies, I like that. Another frozen bird on Narwhal's screen there.
Aku making his way to the torch cutscene here.
Not sure if you ever get hit by those slugs, but I'm pretty sure they do like 4 hearts of damage. They do a lot of damage.
No. Oh wait. Oh, you mean the ones
that were just in Meyer there on Aku's screen?
Bombs. Yeah, they're pretty brutal.
They have no business doing that much damage. They're slugs.
So we see Rob approaching Laser Bridge here, going to sequence break a little bit and get by these lasers without the mirror shield. We just need one small key from these chests and we'll be happy. And that will let us open that door, get into the Trinex fight. Rob there killing that mini helmet, I think fishing for another fairy, hoping that he'd cycled his pack.
When you're in the center of that room with the switches, I really like that pot, throwing that pot down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Going to backdoor Trinex.
Yep. Yeah, Rob showing us some backdoor Trinex. Lets you get 4 slashes in per, magical rod cycle.
And both heads down.
Retro with a clean laser skip.
There's that item dash I like to see with the Cane of Samaria by Retro.
That one is always fun to see. It just looks cool. One of those tricks that just looks cool.
And Rob gets his last crystal.
Alright, so we're going to see Aku entering the Meyer basement now. See if he can preserve and execute spooky action.
And I was about to say almost identical fight from Retro on Trinex here. He just took a little bump from the right head.
Yes, it is. It is well practiced for sure from both of these runners. It appeared that Aku maintained Spooky, so maybe not. I couldn't see the screen. No, it seems like
No, I didn't notice any lag from the Twitch hit.
I could not quite tell if the dash was at the right time on the previous screen.
Still does it in vanilla manner, which is nice. Without even missing a beat, you know, kind of just knew he missed it and was right up there and hit
It's just one of those things, you know. There's always going to be mistakes. Problems will always happen. Like a big part of the run is just reacting to that and trying not to have your problems compound.
See Rob a little upset there that he kept his sword out for the opening GT there.
Yeah, so Malmo, Aku appears to be a minute ahead of you right now.
Narwhal just died somewhere in mire. I didn't happen to catch where.
I did not either. I was looking at Aku's. Aku is about a minute ahead right now, and the runners on the right are both about a minute behind. PB pace, that is.
Now, when you do this, does everybody skip that small key on the torch in GT, or is that just like a preference thing, or? So there's
really 3 options to which key you can grab in GT. That torch key is the first option, easiest option. The most common option is probably the chest in the last room before Mold Worm 2, and then the third option, which is probably the fastest if you're willing to spin some hearts or a heart. Would be the mini Helma key in the room before the bombable wall.
Right, you would just take out the mini Helmas, grab your key, be on your way.
Exactly. Those are your 3 options for like a non-chest key. You gotta grab one of them. And then finally, Malmo, I think that Narwhal had some issues with live split, and we don't have their splits showing right now.
Aku looks on pace for, he's about, what, a minute ahead?
Yep, it looks like Aku is about a minute ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see even more time saved. Lots of runners, yep, sure enough, now a minute 28 ahead, but, you know, at this level, lots of times, there's a lot of time saved left in these final splits, so...
I guess it just goes to show you, even if you get knocked off by Moldrum a few times, don't push that purple rectangle forward. Just go back up the stairs and take him out and can carry on.
Exactly. Famously, Light World doesn't matter anyway.
Got the big key. And the arrows. I guess we want those extra arrows for the gauntlet, I would assume.
Narwhal has powder out. I assume is waiting to use it on this final room here. Okay, there we go. Grabs the fairy and onto the Vidi fight.
People talking about the mini Helmas in the chat there. I'm not sure the fastest way to do it, but I just kind of wait at the door until the Helmas come down and move to the left, and you can kind of take them out with one flash, but I don't think that's the fastest, or...
Probably not. Looks like Retro cleaning up Ice Armos easily. Rob already with the GT bid key making the climb now.
He's going to want these arrows too. And Aku opening up Turtle Rock here.
Rob taking a safe walk through the cannonballs there.
And Narwhal finding their way out of the Vitreous fight triumphant.
All right.
Takes care of Mimic
first couple
1.
Gauntlet rooms for Rob.
One arrow to spare for Retro.
I wonder if Retro usually goes for the archer strategy for this room and is holding off to have that arrow for the gauntlet.
For that one blue Zazak.
Right, exactly. Yep. Or the skeleton here? I don't remember which it is.
We'll find out, I guess.
It's a skeleton, yeah. So right there.
Get a few more arrows, but he doesn't care.
Alright, Aku has already grabbed the small key from the roller room. Took the safe mirror back to the front, which is very reasonable. Down 4 hearts already. That means that even a fairy would not heal 8.
He should still have one in a bottle. I don't think he took any fairy revivals yet.
True.
It's getting a little slippery for Retro there. I mean, the BMOs don't help one bit.
Some slightly odd timing on the chomps there. I think that they hit him right before the iframes from the pegs. And it looks like we have Narwhal picking up the boulder, ready to enter TR. And then here we're going to see Rob picking up his final small key.
And there's that thing people were talking about not too long ago. He had one bomb, right? So when he throws the bomb at the bottom of the wall, it'll automatically switch him to the fire rod. And I guess what? Just makes it a little bit faster if it switches to the hook shot.
That is something that I don't really worry about at this point. I don't
Oh,
know
look at that.
what the most efficient menu.
Rob with the classy hookshot dodge on Moldorm too.
Yeah, very nice iframes from the hookshot. So is the spin. Good timing there. Alright, we see Rob starting the Aga 2 fight. One of the most difficult bosses in this game to get quickly.
Angles.
Angles are magic. Narwhal getting a very clean path through the roller room. Mirroring back to the front, picking up.
And there's Aku's fairy from Pokies 2.
Oh, nice. Then that means that he cycled that prize back after all.
Cycled back around. Blue Boy's bird taking Rob into the Ganon fight.
And then we see Narwhal get their fairy right on schedule.
Another hookshot dodge from Retro. Geez, did these guys train together?
I'm sure they have seen each other play before. So,
He missed the double on Ganon there against the Trident. I'm not sure though.
It looks like he missed it. So no 1-1. We'll be starting phase 2 here, going for some poke dashes to try to get a 2+1.
That's a super slick save, honestly, dashing through Ganon from the left to the right and then going with the dash poke.
Looks like did not quite get the 12 shots in. We see Aku with a clean laser bridge skip.
Nudging off the rail for key dash.
Yep, exactly.
And I get 2 down for Retro.
So Rob dealing with a few Ganon warps here, but just needs a pretty stock phase 4 to.
But I'm just gonna warp until Retro gets here too.
There you go. But probably with a pretty stock phase 4 would probably lock up this race.
Aku lining up for more textbook Trinex fight.
Yeah,
you know, keeping it safe, not going around behind there.
Yeah, the classic front door, although typically stay off the spikes.
I mean, most people take the front door unless you're best friends. You know, you just go around back and walk inside.
It's true. Retro going for his 1-1 now. Looks like he successfully gets the first stage done and finished, and then I believe that is 12. So he will have the 1-1.
Clean Trinex fight from Aku's side there. And Ganon down.
Yep, Ganon down for Rob. GG's for Rob.
I mean, it makes a big difference when you use the fire rod strat on that other torch there. Allows you to get 3 hits in on Ganon rather than 2.
Absolutely.
Big
And
GG's
so,
to Rob.
Yeah, we see Rob finish with a race timestamp of 1:27:16, matches his live split time in the case.
I mean, only a minute behind PB, minute and a little bit.
Yeah, a minute and a half, but still a very solid run in a race setting. Really no big disasters. 3 blue balls, if I remember correctly. Just a solid run. A little bit of shakiness, if I remember correctly, in TR. But overall, very, very good.
Right, the shooter was not liking him.
Exactly. Lost some time in pokies.
Aku saving some frames there, keeping his sword in the sheath going into GT.
Yep, and then GG's for Retro, finishing up his Ganon fight.
Raise the bacon sword and cross the bridge.
Retro finishes with a race time, official time of 1:28:19. A little over 2 minutes behind PB. And then we see Aku skipping the torch key in GT. So I imagine he will also grab the chest key later.
Or will it be Mini Helma?
It could be.
Could be.
I know that that would probably be a popular one for rando players, right? Because the chest key in rando.
Well, as a random player, I just grab both of them, probably.
Yep, there you go.
Open everything.
Open everything, indeed.
Yeah, how are you going to accidentally map check if you don't open up that first chest of the game and get the map?
That's right. I think, yeah, so we missed a death on Narwhal's side there.
I noticed that running through the roller room there.
Yeah, we're doing some ground that we've already covered. I did not catch with the 2 racers finishing. I did not catch which screen that Narwhal died on.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, Retro.
How's it going?
GG's.
Okay.
Yeah, big GG's to you.
Thanks.
You guys were
very close race. Towards the beginning, you two were pretty much perfectly in sync. It was honestly kind of eerie.
Yeah, it was making people a little uneasy how in sync you guys were. Like within pixels.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the run?
Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on the run? I know you lost a bit of time in Skullwood. Sort of fell apart there a bit. But up until there, it was very solid and really wasn't bad at any point, I would say.
Yeah, it felt pretty solid until Skull. After that death, I was like, oh well, there goes the baby pace. I was on
it's always
125
rough.
pace again.
That's right.
But basically it was in the Meyer split when I picked up the rock. I was way too far right. I was worried for Spooky 2 later.
Gotcha.
Just Spooky in general.
Yeah, I've definitely had
just
some
what
runs
happened.
recently like that as well. We see Narwhal finishing up Turtle Rock's try next fight. But yeah, otherwise, really good race.
Yeah, the death on Moth there it was almost not noticeable how quick it was. He's kind of went in and died, and you were back there in an instant.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one thing I wanted to comment on. Notice the really clean execution of that, like Mummy Hellway backup, management strategy. Really impressive race strat to pull out.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Timon. He taught me that. Back in the day, they used to race a lot, so had all these backup race strats that really helpful. But I think he also used it in another category. I'm not sure.
Oh, gotcha.
which
Interesting.
one. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but like that weird strat.
Interesting. Yeah, it's you know, that's something that I've like practiced a few times and found it very hard, and then I moved on to something that I would actually runs more often. So I know how difficult, you know, that room is with those dashes in the lamp. But you just pulled it out, you know, no hesitation, which to the point really made that time loss really quickly. I basically I don't think that, like, you know, you lost the race there for sure. PB may have been dead, but you know, it was still a very close race after that.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch too much of the restream. I was just listening to your commentary.
Yeah, it was quite close for most of the way. We got desynced because of shopping, and then had a hard time, at least for me, with 4 streams going, telling exactly where the time was made up. But it was quite close for a big part of the race.
Yeah, I've seen you type script LOL, and then I think he got hit by a fireball or something right at the end of the blind fight. He didn't seem to like that.
Yeah, so I actually messed up phase 2. And yeah, but GG's, Rob.
Yeah, GG's, Rob. Welcome.
GG's.
Thank you.
Well
about that,
raced, well played.
Yeah, thank you. It was not the cleanest of runs, but like, you know, I got through with maybe no major disasters, but some kind of close to major disasters. But yeah, I eventually, you know, getting through alive was apparently enough.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely seemed like one of those runs. There were a few times when we looked over to your face cam and saw you shaking your head yourself. Or I think Poopies too. You had a little bit of.
Oh yeah.
But just, you know, just small things though. Nothing major.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the biggest time loss in the run was Lammo. I just like got some quite bad patterns and didn't play them well, which is not a good combination.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think Lammo was friendly for any of the runners today. Doing a lot of short hops.
That's true. There were a lot of short hops all the way around. But yes, no major disasters. Any other thoughts on your run, Rob? I mean, you seem pretty steady most of the way. Lost
yeah,
no time
exactly. Like it was
yeah.
Like I was a little bit nervous early on, but like once actually kind of the nerves kind of calmed a bit once Retro pulled ahead of me a little bit in like the mid game. And then like obviously after the death, I then got myself ahead and was able to just stay there. But yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to tell for a minute because I think you guys do your shopping at different times.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you kind of when both of you guys flew to Meyer, you were right back in sync again.
Yeah, I was ahead by basically exactly an ice rod at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. One ice rod. Let's see. I had something else to. Oh right. I don't know if you were watching it recently early on, but we commented to Retro before you joined that you two were just scarily in sync for the first couple of splits. It was like almost like, you know, frame for pixel.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the commentary, but I was looking at the the video for the restream. It
was good fun. We see Aku meanwhile cleaning up Aga 2. Good fight there. Update for pacing purposes. Aku left TR 1 minute and 8 seconds ahead of PB.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think Aku did promise to PB every race, right? So,
He did. Aku did promise a PB every race. So he's just doing his part here. But let's see what else. I think there was one other thing I wanted to mention about what we saw.
Oh yeah, you didn't look too happy having your sword out entering GT, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you never want to, but I mean, there were lots of things this run I wasn't happy about, and that was kind of one of the more minor ones. But yeah, it's just annoying because it should be kind of easy to do it right.
I knew this was gonna happen. Like I'd get 2 blue balls, and then I was on pace, so I just completely like forgot about the race and was just trying to go for a PB.
Yeah, like I figured you were probably on pace before before the death, because I knew that my run was like not too bad, and you were quite a bit ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we see 12 seconds ahead at Thieves Town until Skull Woods, right?
And yeah, Thieves, I was like -12.
Yeah. Was it actually Moth you died to? Or was it before
Yeah,
Moth?
so I got the double, you know, at the beginning, and then I just got trapped on the left side. It just
Yeah,
it's not
sure.
good.
Like
So,
Yeah,
Aku,
Retro. I need
heading
to
phase
ask you a
4
question
Ganon real
about
fast.
the where you pick up the key before Moth, where you dashed and bonked into the wall, but you actually bounced over the mini helmet and get the key. Was that on purpose?
No, so if you, this is the optimal strat is to dash, pick up key with the back of your hat. That's like your visual cue. Cancel and then go, you know, snap into the door. But then if you fail it and bonk, you have time to just hold down and then hold right for just like clean movement. I've made that mistake so many times.
It's
So
pretty
then
swaggy.
if you fail the pickup, then do you bonk on purpose?
Yeah. No, not the pickup, but if you do like fail the dash cancel.
Oh, I see.
well, yeah, I
fail
guess
the
if you
dash
fail the dash
cancel.
cancel, you're bonking either way.
And then we
Just hold
see
down because
Aku beating Ganon here. GG's
Big
for Aku.
GG.
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 He's
And
getting
another
some-
PB as promised.
Yep, another PB as promised. Could
Wow.
be a little bit over a minute, 8 seconds it appears. So stayed a very solid pace from really Ice Palace through the end of the game.
I mean, I guess as you get faster, getting a PB gets a bit harder. I'm pretty sure his first race in this tournament was like an 8-minute PB.
I think it was around there as well. 138
Yeah.
is miles faster than where he was earlier. One more thing that I wanted to ask you, Retro.
Head out, but I
the-
just want to say thanks
Oh,
for
yeah, sure, go ahead.
free stream. Thanks, Bobby.
Absolutely.
Bees. Um,
Thank you. GG again.
I never thought I'd race Rob because he's really fast. So it's kind of like a goal of mine.
I mean, you're catching up to me pretty quick.
Yeah, your guys' Chinax
Alright,
fight
I
was pretty
just
much
can't-
identical.
I'm gonna get that 125. Almost there.
All right.
Well, thank
All
you
right,
guys.
Retro. Thank you for stopping by.
Jeez.
GG's again.
Thanks, guys.
All right. I mean, I might head off as well then. Let you do the other interview with the other racers separately, because I'm also on comms in like 20 minutes time for the next race.
Oh.
So I'll get ready for that and see you all soon.
Yep.
Right
Good
on.
luck, comms. Thank you again, Rob.
Good luck, comms.
Thank you.
All right. So we have Narwhal finishing up, grabbing this full magic and heading to Torches 2.
Aku, GG.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Aku. GG. So notice that you really were on pace and like gaining ground really most of the run. Really good run on your part.
Yeah. Well, lots of PBs in the beginning. Like, this was my third full run.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Very very impressive for a third NMG run. Very.
And now,
very,
I know
very
you might have
impressive.
been thinking about it, but you never had to use that fairy in the bottle, did you?
No, I did not. But I'm probably not going to skip it for a little while yet.
Nice.
You're probably getting a little worried around in Tower of Hera there, falling at least one to Moldorm.
Yeah, just once I fell.
Yeah, because you and Narwhal were both on Moldorm and both falling.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some back and forth there. Both of y'all were having epic fights with Moldorm.
He was a bit more calm on the right side of the restream, but he was a little angry on the left side, on your guys' side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
One question that we missed in the excitement of having 4 racers, I guess. When did you pick up Ice Rod, Aku?
Good question.
I picked it up just before getting Ether, so after Ice Palace.
Ah, gotcha. That's right. Okay, so you just did them in the opposite order than I think Narwhal did. So that's what confused us.
Right.
But again, just us missing it in the excitement.
Yeah, I
and
think
with me figuring out routes, doing things out of order or just unconventional, like you said.
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure that there's no time difference. I think the reason why people typically do Ice Rock Cave after is You could farm a heart or two from those crabs if you happen to lose one or two on the Death Mountain climb, but I don't think there's a real time loss.
No, I did like the unconventional flute after Zora's Domain, where you just said nope to the whirlpool and you flute it down to 8 instead.
Yeah, I have some routing stuff in my notes, and that's not in my notes.
So we see Narwhal with the Ganon fight. Looks like maybe they missed the trident spin. It looked good to me, but then that was not the end of phase 1. So
yeah, I think a few people in chat who were saying when you did skip dealing with the Zoras there to flute to 8, it might have not been a bad idea to grab your ice rod at that time.
That's what I was hearing. Like, I was listening to the restream.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, right on.
I might change that up and continue that flute, but go to Ice Rod Cave and Water Walk to Ice Palace.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Little death to Ganon on Narwhal's side here, but no magic used, no big deal.
Yep, we're back at it with 8 hearts, 9 hearts, 8 hearts.
8 hearts.
I know it really starts to feel bad if you get to the last phase and you start using up your magic, and then you take a fall or a death, and you just can't do it again.
That is definitely when it starts to feel bad.
Yeah.
Looks like we're taking it safe here. Good fire bat dodges. Oh, short hook messes up there a bit. Cannot take another one of those hits, but good hook shot usage here, and we are on to phase 3.
Yeah, did you feel much pressure being on PB pace, Aku, or you just assume every run's gonna be a PB and it's just no sweat for you, basically?
I'm pretty much assuming everyone's going to be a PB.
Love it. Love it.
Like this one, I did 0 fairy revives. Last one was 2 fairy revives.
Okay, so you used your bottle last race.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Pretty unfortunate firebat path on the first firebat of phase 4 here. Typically that hook to the torch is pretty safe, but must have been just a slightly bad trajectory.
Yeah, and Aku, I seen you talk about the something about the prize pack because you ended up getting the fairy out of the first 2 guards there.
Yeah,
And-
I don't know
Go
how
ahead.
to manipulate all of that stuff yet, or put it
Well,
into my run.
You did cycle back around, I think, in Pokies 2 and get the fairy then, so, I mean, potato almost.
Yeah, there's definitely Ganon down on a Narwhal. GG's Narwhal, GG's.
Big
For
GG to
finishing.
Narwhal.
Race time finish of 1:45:48. So GG's all the runners today. These were some really good races. But yeah, Aku, there's definitely like a lots of nuance in the NMG run that I like doesn't transfer over from Rando and vice versa. Play Rando with close. He always teaches me something. So it's just the way it is. It's a big game.
It is huge.
Game is hard.
Yeah, and I know I took some bosses more safer, just to not take deaths.
Narwhal, GG.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's.
GG's Narwhal.
That
was
was
a bit of a wild race, yeah.
Yeah, very, very good race. Close throughout, really most of it. Aku pulled ahead a bit at the end, but you two kept it very close throughout. I would say the majority of the race. How did you feel about the run?
That's probably the worst run I've had in a while.
Well, I guess we've all had the at some point, and I mean, it didn't look all that bad. There was definitely some bad luck at times. You know, I think there were a few disasters. Like, you know, dying in like, you know, TR probably hurt you the most. But like, you know, really, I think it's just about avoiding those, like, you know, big disasters. Otherwise, it would have been a really clean run.
Yeah, and like Moldorm for both of you guys was very not nice. It wasn't just you.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like kudos to just speeding right back in there, because I think you took a death to Vidi too, right?
I died before Vidi.
Right before Vidi, yeah.
I hooked to the pots before the Wizrobe, and when I turned to slash the Wizrobe, I was too close.
Oh. Gosh, yeah, because I was like, I didn't think it was Vidi, but you know, you pretty much had everything else opened and whatnot. Yeah, pretty sick race.
Yeah, very good race. Great runs on all four sides, really. But it was a lot of fun for us. Aku, Narwhal, do either of y'all have any other thoughts about the run?
Anything particularly stand out for you, Aku, in your run?
It was a clean, no death run with no failures.
That's good.
Lives.
Nice.
Yeah, we saw
So-
Aku picked up a bottle on the net. I believe it was the Thieves Town split, which is a good time to do that because you're already running through.
Yeah, you guys were still really close at that point. Like, I think when Aku went and got the bottle, it kind of put you ahead, Narwhal, by a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which made it kind of interesting.
That's true. Because yeah, I remember there at that point we were talking about how Aku was sort of like, you know, trading a bit of time up front. You know, but that safety, maybe it would pay off eventually. But you know, very good race from all runners.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, I was just gonna ask Narwhal, like, how like your splits weren't up for us to see, but were you close at any point? Were you ahead at any point in the race there?
No idea. Live Split decided it wasn't working.
Right
For the
on.
race.
Gotcha.
Which also kind of like threw me off too. That I was like, okay.
I can definitely understand that. Yeah, I would feel like a little naked splits, to be honest.
I don't know how I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Exactly. Well,
Well,
thank
and
you
normally
both.
if I tilt a little, like you know, that's fine. I can look out for like, can I improve this split or that split? And I'm like,
Yeah. Definitely. I also like to, like, you know, if I mess up one split, I like, you know, give myself basically that crystal cutscene or whatever to be mad at myself, and then I can move on. But if I were to not know how mad I should be at myself. Yeah, totally hear you. All right, well, that was a very good race. I guess we'll probably hand it back to Alkaline Ace to close things out.
Yeah. So big thanks for this race. Very, very close in Desert Palace, and really nice race overall. So thanks everyone for this. Also, big thanks to both our commentators. Always appreciated to see some no major glitches. So thanks, Close to Spectacular and Concision.
No problem.
So
Absolutely,
we still have one more no major glitch race that is starting in 5 minutes on the SR4. So we will rate that channel. So which match is it? I think it's Eastern Palace round 2 between Miowski and Spiele Willy. So
Yeah, that's right.
So thanks everyone, and see you over there then.
Yep, thank you
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.